1 Corinthians 5:15. Well, you know what? Just because it's there. 1 Corinthians 5, verse 11. But now I am writing to you that you must not associate with anyone who claims to be a brother or sister who is sexually immoral or greedy, an idolater or slanderer, a drunkard or swindler. Do not even eat with such people. Wow. I guess I'm going to be eating alone for the rest of my life. I mean, man, you read this stuff in context. Paul in this is offering a way of life to people, and he's warning the church about erroneous teachings that have been offered. He's warning the church. He's warning the church about their church members, not about people outside. He's warning their church about church members. Because in the church, there are people who are greedy, and they are idolaters, and they are doing things that they shouldn't do in the church. And he's saying that's what he's talking about here, man. He's not talking about people outside the church. He's talking about members. It's essential for us to make sure that we are helping members live the life that Jesus would ask us to live. We actually had a really great Bible study on this last night. We read from 1 Timothy. And, we've got to help our brothers and sisters to live the life that Jesus would ask us to live. And Jesus doesn't ask us to live. It's really essential. I don't want to keep using that word. It's really essential. Jesus doesn't ask us to live a life of avoidance. Okay, so you can go live your life, but just don't do these things. Don't do all these things. Avoid doing all these things. No. Absolutely not. Jesus asks us to live a life that is intentional, a life that is active. For Jesus, he comes along and he says, I want you to live this way. And the ways he tells us to live, the things that he asks us to adopt, are such that if we genuinely adopted them, greed would fall by the wayside. Idolatry would fall by the wayside. Sexual immorality would fall by the wayside. All of that stuff that you just read Paul warning people about, it would fall by the wayside. What Paul is, in a sense, teaching here in 1 Corinthians is that those people who are greedy, those people who are idolaters, those people with all the other things that he mentioned, they haven't truly embraced the life that Jesus is asking them to live. Jesus is asking you to live, that Jesus is asking me to live, the life that Jesus is asking the church to live. They haven't embraced it. They aren't following. It's not that they're greedy. The greed is a symptom of a problem. The problem is that they have chosen not to live the life that Jesus asks us to live. And again, if we come to Galatians, I think you mentioned it earlier, but we go to Galatians and we say in Galatians, Paul says, if you bear one another's burdens, you are fulfilling the law. Well, that's the life we're supposed to live. We're supposed to live a life where we have dedicated ourselves to bearing one another's burdens, carrying the weight for each other, providing for each other, taking the stress off of each other. If we can do that, then we will fulfill the law. There's nothing in the law that says this is wrong. Living like this means that we are living according to every law. That's the thing I think sometimes we forget about Jesus. It's not about following a list of the things we shouldn't do. It's about living a life doing the one thing we must: love. I mean, I remember years ago, people had bracelets and necklaces and earrings and bumper stickers and everything else a church could sell. And all of that, remember, it was, what would Jesus do? WWJD. Maybe it should have been, how would Jesus love? Maybe it should have been, are you loving your neighbor right now in this moment? I don't know. But where Paul is speaking to the church, that stuff that he mentions, the things that people do that make them bad table guests, they're not those things aren't in and of themselves the problem. They are symptoms of a greater problem. People who've chosen not to live a life of love, not to live a life of love for the others around them. If they were living a life of love for the others around them, this stuff wouldn't be an issue. It wouldn't be present.